Hello, everyone. Welcome to the results for the Vocaloid mapping competition or contest 3. Super excited to finally be here. And I'm also super excited that we were able to organize our special guest to appear, the artists for the song themselves. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry that I can't read your comments from here. It's me, Epion. Nice to meet you all.
I can link the stream here so you can pull it up on
Ah,
your end.
thank you very much.
Of course, of course. This was
Yes.
This was the reason that the results were delayed by a week to coordinate this. So I very much so apologize for the additional delay in you finding out who has won. But I think that this was a worthy reason for that delay. And also, of course, if anyone has feedback on like audio balancing and things like that as we go, just let me know. I can make those edits.
I'm so unbelievably excited to see all of the entries. It's been an absolute delight seeing everything come together. Yeah, I'm quite stoked for this, really.
As am I. Other guests that we have today, Wafer, everyone's favorite. Say hi.
I said hi.
Oh, okay. Say it again.
Hi again.
And I don't think Nafi said anything. Maybe she did.
Hello, Nafi here.
Oh, fantastic. All right. So we're gonna probably hop right in. And the order that we're gonna go in today is Osu, Mania, and then Taiko last. So if that's something that you're interested in, stick around. All right. First up, we have the... Oh, and I will also warn that there were no catch entries that were submitted, so there's no catch today. And Taiko was last because there was the most entries. That's why. We didn't have that many catch teams anyway, so...
There's like 2 catch mappers total.
Oh my goodness. Tell me
We got all of them in the first round of the contest.
Yeah, seriously. It happens. So anyway, hopping right into the 5th place Osu entry, we have Cibola Vladimir and Kyle Y. And everyone knows the song. The songs are always the same. In terms of the layout of the screen that you're looking at, the middle entry is the top difficulty, because every team was required to make a full spread. And then on the right side, Nafi can tell us about the layout there. I think the top is the insane, middle is hard, bottom is normal.
No,
Doesn't
I
quite
went the normal's on top, hearts in the middle, and saints on the bottom. And well, in some cases like Mania, it's just like lowest difficulty to highest difficulty from top to bottom. Yeah. The hard difficulty was, when I was judging, personally, the hard difficulty was a super standout for me. It was interesting how they mixed in reading elements throughout the spread, too. The hard was a lot more linear than everything else, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I think this entry made some waves in the judging community because of like how the Insane has like this really difficult reading gimmick. If I remember right.
One of the things that I like
Yes.
about this entry the most is I love hearing the various different hits and how they really customized everything about it. It's quite incredible, really.
Yeah, the adding its own musical layer on top of the song to try to complement it, it's just like not easy to do.
There was some like pseudo symmetry at the start as well. That was pretty cool, and it's being repeated here a bit. Super cool to like separate the verses from the chorus.
I should probably pull up like the phase 1 results so we can compare how they place here.
Nice little wiggles.
So this team actually placed second in the first round. So a very talented, capable team for sure.
This was just...
The way the swaps between the focus of the main melody top line and the rhythm in the background is really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
I really appreciate when maps have a good mix for that.
All right, moving on to fourth place. We have
There was a
Alti
comment in the chat about the judges listening to the song 50 times. Every map set had a really cool take on it, so it was really fun.
You know what's funny is, like, in VMC2, I had judges constantly complaining about, like, the song variety, and, like, how, like, the song sucked or whatever, and they just got sick of listening to it. The only thing I've heard from the judges is that the song was so good that they didn't care. Like, VMC2, they had 5 choices of songs to map. This one they had 1, and none of the judges complained about it getting repetitive.
I mean, I'd like to think that this song has a lot of energy in its very short bursts, so I would like to hope that there is a lot of fun that the judges could have, like listening and seeing people take apart the song in different ways.
Absolutely. They definitely did. Yeah, I've had judges be like, yeah, if the song choice is as good as it was this time, invite me back again for the next VMC. I'm like, okay.
Big fan of like the rotational things in this map. Like it kind of centers around like an axis and then just rotates around it, which is pretty cool.
And I forgot or got interrupted when I was trying to say the names of the mappers, but we have Alti and P10 in 4th place for this entry. It was you, Luminite.
This is a lot less of an intense approach to the song, which is cool, versus the previous entry.
But they like really play with like kind of emphasizing some of the pauses in the vocals, kind of, which I think is really cool. And like their arrow sliders are fun.
Yeah, I think the way that the arrow slides go back and forth between emphasizing different parts of what's being emphasized in the vocals versus what's really like a fast-paced like hit causes a lot of difficulty to Spike, despite being a lot more readable on a very basic level, because you have to constantly be able to flip back and forth. And I think having that kind of mix in there while still making it fun is really difficult, and I really appreciate that effort.
Absolutely. All right, on to 3rd place. We have Alvaria and Daycore.
Wait, the screen went back to 4th.
Oh. Bit better. Yeah.
Yes, there we go. Now we have 3rd place. Tenno versus Neru's Showdown. That's what they named this. I really liked all of the difficulties on this spread, by the way.
Oh, the smiley face.
You know, what I can say is that Alvaria and Daycore are very consistent. They got 3rd place last round, and now they're also 3rd place. Which is quite good. I know one of the judges really liked their entry last time. I don't know about theirs this time. But, very talented team for sure.
Wait a second, this difficulty name is a deep dive because that's the name of the short on YouTube that Etienne uploaded with Neru and Tenno's versions. Oh my god.
Yeah, the Tenno and Neru version was definitely a really fun additional version that I made for fun. And speaking on this map here, I really like the way that they play with the colors as well, going between like the reds and the yellows here, and the way that they play with like the arrows, making these various different shapes. It just has a very pretty atmosphere to it, I think.
You're very good about talking about Osu for someone that doesn't play.
Experience with music. I wonder if you have experience with like other rhythm games at all?
Truth be told, I was someone who I'm not particularly very good at rhythm games. I wouldn't say I'm particularly like the greatest with rhythm in general. However, I do have a lot of appreciation and learning from it. And when I was really younger, I remember I think I used to play on one of my family members' iPads. That game Osu Stream, I believe. I think it was what it was called. I remember playing that when I was really young back in the day, but I didn't really ever get much deeper into them aside from that. Ooh, I like the way that ended, especially.
Alright, on to second place. Nomi Nomu and Emistfiotol. Wow, that's a hard one to pronounce. I tried.
I haven't seen many of their maps before, but this was like by far one of my favorite sets because they just have so much stylistic consistency throughout all of the difficulties that really gives a nice you can feel the same kind of feeling no matter how good you are at the game on this one.
Yeah.
The level of sharpness that comes from the motions on this, it has a very particular way where it's consistently guiding you through very particular movements back and forth with the arrows. And because of how precise a lot of these arrow movements are, you have to be really careful and pay attention to where it's moving. So despite the fact that it is very choreographed in a very particular way, it still causes you to really have to think on your toes because of just how sharply you have to move between each of the sections, and I find that quite exciting.
Yeah, it's got some great contrast there.
I think choreography is a very apt comparison.
Chat said Effie is mogging the rest of the judges. I agree.
I love the way that this is particularly like really intensifying in this section because compared to before, there's a lot less of that really particular like movements going back and forth, but instead we're really moving fast back and forth alongside with like the shapes coming up that are thematic with the song. Absolutely fantastic work.
Wow, the analysis from somebody who doesn't play this game, leaving us to shame.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to piggyback off of Nafi's sentiment, but a lot of really consistent styling there, and it just works super well.
All right. Now, for the astute among you, you'll be like, oh, we know whose first place is because process of elimination, and you'd be correct. Garden and Ibel.
You would be correct. Good work, Garden and Ibel. Like, they are so consistent in making like top tier maps across like anywhere they show up.
I mean, that's what happens when you're an elite mapper, right?
Yeah, just everything about it just feels so natural, the way that you sort of glide through everything. It's so elegant and simple in the way that it goes about doing everything, but just makes it give it such like a nice flair.
I think that is contrast here, like with this like circular sort of part versus the intro. It's nice. And then you have the super triangular chorus. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, taking that triangle idea from earlier in the map and sort of expanding it to other parts, it's like very nice.
I think a lot of the shape language also really fits in for different sections of the song, like having a bit more of a sharper edge versus like a rounder edge in terms of like just the way that the energy moves. Because the song is very consistent in its beats basically, but there's also a bit of a dynamic like motion to it, especially when you get to the second verse when the things like the trumpets like start coming in, for instance, and the extra synths. So I really like the way that this continues to develop and grow alongside the song.
If you don't want to play Osu,
No, I don't play Osu.
you can always start.
Such as with the normal difficulties on these sets, because those are they're pretty solid intros to the game.
Maybe I'll look into some of the maps of Flop era sometime then.
That'd be pretty cool. We can link your Osu profile to your featured artist listing.
Wonderful.
So congrats again to Guard and Ibel for being so effective on every level and as a team, because all of these maps are made as collabs. So whenever you see it that consistent, that's
the
a really high
notification
level
at the
teamwork.
end of my heart.
Yeah, all these difficulties are made by two different people. So like one person does half of it, the other person does the other half. They can split it up however they want. So it's usually like one person does, a section and then it switches to the next person for another section and, back and forth. And you end up with these repeated sections being done by two different people and they have to like work together. Whereas in the first phase, they had to work against each other to some degree. Like these same two people had to work against each other by making different ideas of the same song. Whereas this one, they have to work together to make the same idea of the same song. So Nafi just put the judging sheet with the full commentaries and the full score breakdown in the chat. Now keep in mind that those are not the final results because the final results have been standardized and those are not standardized and totaled. So just keep that in mind. You'll find the full standardized total results on the contest listing itself on the Osu website. But you can see the full score breakdown there. On to the results here. First place, Garden Ibel. Second place, Nomi Nomu and Emis. God damn it, I can't do it.
Amethystal.
Amethystal.
Third place, Alvaria Decor. Fourth place, Alti P10. And fifth place, Cibola Vladimir and Kyle Y. Thanks so much for participating. Now,
congratulations, everyone.
Some of you may be wondering where the sixth place is. Unfortunately, they misread the rules and they mapped Fake Up, which fully respect them for mapping Fake Up. That's a great song too, but it's not what the contest was.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's okay. It has a special place in my heart.
That's everyone.
Well, it's somewhat understandable because in the first round it was any song from the artist listing. This time it was one song from the artist listing. So it can happen, I guess. Are you fifth? Well, you'll have to wait to find out because frankly, I do not remember. All right, moving on to Mania. Are we ready?
Yay!
Yay!
I'm so excited.
All right, sixth place for Mania. We got YU and Kanomi.
So all of us are actually really good at Mania, so our analysis here is going to be spot on.
Mick, did you really map Dial Loop?
There's a lot of very interesting motion in the way that it's going back and forth because it almost like comes across more like an ocean in the way that like everything is starting to fall down, and I like that it's still overall doing its like really damnness to really like hit all of like the beats of the song.
And since Mania has to deal with multiple tracks, they can also, instead of like switching focus, they can show multiple parts of the music structure at once, which they are very very exact and particular about.
I see. I think it is still important to be able to have a decent amount of brevity and dynamics within a guitar when you're playing game as well. So I really like the way that the verse here is sort of still a little bit more on that calmer side compared to like the absolute torrent that is in the chorus. It really adds that level of keeping your up on your tones, because if you're on the same level of intensity the whole time, then things can get rather fatiguing. And so I think that difference is quite nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this, you're keeping the same like 4 rows at a time that you do in the chorus, but like it's way toned down in terms of intensity and rhythm.
Yeah.
What I find so interesting about Mania is that, you see 4 columns here. Mania could have a lot of columns. It could be a lot more than this. Each column is controlled by 1 key on the keyboard, and so like there's versions of Mania where there's 10 keys you have to press and keep track of. 10 columns of this. Too much for
I think some of the smaller ones can also be like very like deceptively like challenging, because you just have to press, like you only have like the 4 to press, so you don't think you have that much issue, but then you can just like get put on an onslaught. Anyway, that was incredible. I loved that.
5th place, Extra and Rayhan. Somehow I think Extra predicted that his 5th place. That's crazy.
How did he know?
How does he know?
I'm very curious to see if we get any. Oh, sorry, you go first.
No, I just said I liked like one second the beat started like coming in after like the second part of the verse, that like they started having a bit more falling down. I think that's a really nice way of reflecting like the song.
I'm very curious to see if we get any entries that aren't 4 key. Although I don't know if 4 key was in the rules.
7 keys. So it was 4 to 7. Could
Okay.
be anything in between as well. The judges didn't feel comfortable going beyond 7.
That makes
'cause
sense.
It does take some specialization to get into the 8 plus.
Yeah, so there were a couple in other key modes.
Yes. I think the 4 key is obviously the most popular, but there was a couple 7s, and I think there was one that did like, that might have been the first round. There was one team that did like a 7 key and a 4 key in the same entry, which is pretty interesting.
That was interesting.
Expectations. I love that part.
You could record your own vocals. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
For real. The self cover. It's the Vocaloid producer classic. I feel like everyone does that.
How sick.
Man, Otto is really popping off with these plays. I haven't dropped a single key yet.
That was super like dense with the chords. That was awesome.
Yeah. Very difficult. We have to add more lead out next time, Nafi.
I added
This
as
is my
much lead
fault.
out as you gave
This
me.
is my fault. I know. I'm sorry.
Oh my,
Also,
this one has more keys.
Yes.
So the highest difficulty is the main one, right? On this 3-screen layout, the bottom right is the lowest, and the top right is the middle. I might have messed up. But yeah, this is 7 keys, so most people will have a symmetrical keyboard layout, and then like that middle pink button might be like the spacebar, but people can change the keys to anything they want, so that depends on them.
Right. And in fourth place, Jazzman123 and Gamer Chris. It seems like Gamer Chris is not much of a 7-key mapper, so.
New experiments, which is really cool.
Oh, the diagonals, like, for the horns are awesome. I don't know what you call them, but they go, like, diagonal across the keyboard. It's cool.
Right.
A lot of these very tricky, like gaps also in between some of the held notes as well. I quite like that.
In Mania, it matters when you let go too, so that can be very tricky, timing-wise. So that's a nice challenge there too, especially when they mix it with like regular transitions between held notes.
No, unfortunately your team didn't get top 3. I disqualified it. Just kidding.
I think earlier in the verse, that was one of the more difficult sections, I think, overall to keep track of, because there's simultaneously the melody that's in the actual main vocal part, but there's also like the instrumental in the back, so it can be a bit difficult to pick out which part you want to focus on, essentially, for mapping, I think.
Yeah, what's interesting about like all the different game modes of Osu is how they can handle different layers of music. Because a lot of, like, for example, Osu Standard that we looked at, it has a difficult time doing more than one layer because there's only one object you can play or click at the same time. Whereas, you know, Mania, you can have potentially more layers being, clicked at the same time because of the extra keys. It's pretty cool what they can do with it.
But it also requires having like hand coordination, like ultimate hand coordination. Oh my goodness.
Yes. All right. Moving on to third place. Znow and Naive
DX.
Naive DX, yes.
It's a backwards XD.
Or Deluxe.
Oh, maybe.
A mega hybrid? That sounds funny. Sounds really funny.
Is this what they call a
VMC3 entries?
Is this what they call a dump chart? There's there's a lot of single notes.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed that's really going on this one, I was about to say. They're really quite extended. It's very interesting.
We seem to have lost Nafi, so...
Oh
She
no.
will return.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about Mania, but I'm always a little impressed by charts like this that are overmapped like crazy, and yet, like make a ton of sense.
Yeah. Comparatively speaking, with these kinds of maps, you would need to do just a lot more quick taps, basically, in the situation, because you can't really afford to hold down on something for too long, because the next note is going to be immediately coming up. So comparatively speaking, I think one of the bigger challenges with a map like this is that compared to before, where you had to be able to precisely hold something down and then let go and press back in, you really have to be paying attention to make sure that all of your taps are very efficient in energy, so that you can keep moving around, because there's just another thing that's going to be coming next. So it's quite impressive, really.
Yeah, so very good points. Hello.
We
Very
have
good-
had a
very
Luminite
good
to the
analysis.
cast. Nafi has
yeah.
transitioned.
We lost Navi. Supposed to be here a little bit later. Yeah, Mania, some rice. I'm personally a big fan of white rice. No.
Why is there a
Rice
fifth one?
mean in Mania.
We recruited Luminite to talk about Taiko, which is coming up next.
Yes. Yes, I was here for Taiko. We lost Nafi for a moment, so I'm here to just fill in the silence. Also,
Very
yeah,
valuable
my profile
contributions.
picture is Waka. I do enjoy Waka, but that's not the video game we're talking about right now. We're talking about Osu. Osu
Second
Mania.
place, we have Lot and Mick Leak. The huge upset. The hugest of upsets.
It does consistently take me by surprise in all these submissions so far that a lot of the highest difficulty on a lot of them, except at least from what I saw from 7K, like the density of the intro, which is not very high intensity, is just so freaking dense, and that is just so strange to me as someone who came from Taiko.
I think the reason why that can be the case is because like the intro, even though it's relatively pretty short and quick, just has a lot of really sharp quick notes in it. So there's just a lot of potential to really mine from that for just like immediately like slamming you in the face just a lot, you know?
Yeah, it does. It's also advantageous for Mania. When y'all said earlier how every column and how picky they are about every column being able to represent everything going on in the song, that probably also lends itself to contributing to that early density. It's just strange. It's like, because I can feel my hands going crazy on these, and it's just the intro. It's like, wow, okay, so where do we go from here, guys?
I think it keeps you on your toes, don't you think?
Probably.
The chat is really having a meltdown over this outcome.
Well, if I remember correctly, McLeek mentioned that they originally mapped the wrong song and did this
This
in
is
2
true.
days.
This is true, they did say that. Getting second place, something they did in 2 days when they were supposed to have like a month to do it, quite impressive.
Imagine if they had 3 days.
I just love how there was more than one team that mapped the wrong song.
But like, doing an entire spread that fast is seriously impressive because mapping takes such a long time.
Yes,
Fun fact,
yep.
this ending for the song, for the way that it ends with that like really big extended like finale, came because initially I was just going to have it end the same way as the previous first chorus, but when I finished it, I just thought, oh, this needed more oomph, so I just really just like copied over it. I was like, let's just try something, and then it just ended up being a huge like explosion.
Yeah, it's really
That was a
awesome.
wonderful entry.
Yeah. Alright, first place, we have Kurisu Makise and Hoshimegu Miyu.
I think that should be Makise Kurisu.
Yo, more 7 key. Let's go. Let's go.
The 7 key takeover.
You know, if I had to rank these off of names, I think Jazzman123 would have won. It's a beautiful name.
That is pretty awesome.
That gives the
There's a
same
lot of
energy.
really interesting technical work being done on this map, I think, with the way that a lot of the parts are really segmented.
Yeah, each part really has its own theme going here. And, well, all of the difficulties are basically different flavors of top difficulties, so they also did some of that too.
This is true, yeah. For a standard player, it's like actually cursed how the spread works.
I do appreciate these verses being a little bit less dense compared to some of the other entries.
I noticed that, yeah. And when that drop off after the first key, I noticed that. And I was like, hey, low density.
I think it can be a trap that a lot of people fall under when they just try to overload with everything all at once. But then, like, when you don't have that variety, like, you start finding it difficult to keep track of what's the actual beat for the song as you're, like, you know, like, hitting all the keys. And I think it can actually cause you to be more prone to make mistakes where it feels more unfair. So it's really nice to see a dynamic map.
to me, it's all about the contrast, right? We want to make sure we're giving different parts of the song different feelings that are matching up to what's going on. And there's obviously a different dynamic here with the 7 keys, because I don't honestly know how anyone can read what's happening on the screen. But
With 7 key players, they're just on a different level, I think.
like this just looks like really beautiful like waterfall simulations right now. Just seeing all the like different waves go across the lanes is just amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, the heart at the end, wonderful.
All right, fantastic entry. And for the total results, as you can see, Kurisu Makise and Hoshimegu Mio with that first place entry. Lawton Mikleek, second place. Zenau and Naive DX, third. Fourth, Gamer Chris and Jazzman, 1, 2, 3. Extra and Rayhan in fifth. And YU and Kanami in sixth. Thank you, of course, for participating. And Nafi has just put the Mania scores and judging comments in the chat for you guys to read at your leisure. Again,
Congratulations.
Again, as a reminder, those are not the standardized scores that are determining the outcomes, the placements. So if there's discrepancies, that's why. So congratulations everyone.
Oh,
Congratulations.
you stole my words.
Okay.
I hope everyone's flopping in their era right now.
Oh, God. Flopping like a fish.
Do the
All right.
flop?
All right, I'm banning you now, Wafer.
Bye.
Okay. Now it's time for Luminite's bread and butter. We're on to
Yeah,
Taiko.
here we go. We got 4 buttons on the keyboard, no more, no less. 2 colors.
And for the Taiko among you, the Taiko players among you, you'll know that Luminite was a judge for this contest, for the Taiko contest. And that's some PSA for the rest of you. So Luminite has some additional context, insights that.
Oh yeah, I know. I should probably pull
don't
up all my private comments just so I know what I'm talking about.
All right, moving on. 7th place Taiko, Solor and Nintendo 64.
Hold on, I need to find these. Yeah, so we're not gonna see anything too fancy in comparison. I feel like going from standard to Mania and all the visualization, we're all gonna see. Obviously, we do have the ability for some fancy SVs and some interesting doublets, like you're seeing in this submission right here. But we don't have as much of that visual flair. I feel like most of the time coming off of all the first 2 modes that we just saw.
You guys
I
have.
mean, there's a lot of
I feel
complexity
like-
that comes from the actual speed at which like things like come into frame. I think that's like that kind of intensity can be overwhelming for many people, and I think this map really gives off that very subtle feeling of intensity, like as everything's like just starting to crash down on you, and I think that's quite exciting.
This is so there's kind of an issue with this map, as everyone's noting. This kind of SV is not rankable, and I'm pretty sure those notes are like pretty near stacked. I did look in the editor, but I already forgot if they're actually stacked or not. I don't think they are.
I see.
What goes on in the Oni and the Muzu for this map are really good, and of course you can see them on the right hand side. They're really simplistic. The usage of SVs is much more accurate to what's going on. And the inner Oni, I think that there was a lot of ambition, but it's just not rankable.
I will admit that for myself personally, I find it difficult to read.
Yeah, it's not. You can't read this on sight read. It's just not possible.
I think the visual flair of it still has its own charm in its own way, though.
Yeah, no, there's a great one of the. There's a certain point, right, where you can just start making things look crazy for the sake of it. It still looks cool. It's just, from the perspective as a judge, especially, I'm like one of the most old school judges on the Taiko panel, and I think it shows in. If we were able to show what all of my scores were, I think it would make a lot of sense. But so, there's a really cool element to this. It's just you have to balance it with well, is this allowed for especially a contest. It's just not. You have 2/3 of the set is very good, very controlled, and very polished, and then the last set is just very ambitious and, you know, rule breaking. But it's still very notable, and it's still really cool.
Yeah.
You guys should try to make that rankable. Just saying. Let's update the RC real quick.
I honestly think that the doublet thing that was going on really tanked the score pretty significantly across it. So, but yeah, maybe we can change the RC to make it rankable, and then come back.
No, let's not do that. Let us not change the RC for that. Okay.
No, I agree. We should change the RC. I'm biased because I made one taiko map and I had a similar gimmick, and I was told it was unrankable. But
And this is why you're a standard mapper.
you're right.
All right, 6th place we have Foco in Gameland 4.
See, as you can see too, just right off the bat, all the difference in density as we were just coming off of from Mania, very, very different. A lot of these maps are starting off in the 1-1, 1/2, maybe some light 1-4 improvisation in the inner Oni, less so in the Oni. It's very different mode-wise. I
must say that Simply seems very disappointed that he's not second last.
See, he did mention that earlier, and I was like, I wanted to comment and reply to him and say, as long as you didn't do nonsense like SV doublets, but I was like, I feel like I probably shouldn't say that yet.
Now, what I always really enjoy about taiko is because each color has like one set sound, is how taiko mappers not only have to play with like the density and structure of the song, but also what it sounds like over the song too.
Yeah, and it's always so interesting. It's one of there's different ways to interpret like how you should use a Dawn and Cat. Like obviously, which is red and blue. Obviously the straightforward way, it's like, okay, low or dark or like low pitch sound, just use a Dawn. High pitch sound, just use a Cat. And then you start making these long patterns, and you're trying to think about, okay, does it flow? Does it make sense? Does it make? And I don't particularly think about PDKK players, so I don't know what PDKK players think of when they map. And that's a different way of playing taiko because of the standard key bindings that they're assigned by Osu on an install. I'm not going to get into that whole tangent, but you start thinking about, okay, is this pattern comfortable? Does it make sense in the context of all the other Dons and Cats that I put on? Like if you already use a Cat on a high sound and the pitches keep getting higher, then you lead yourself to the possibility that you're just going to have like 2 solid seconds of Cat. So you need to be more careful with what you're doing than just going by that alone.
Coming up with comfortable variation is real tricky from my one taiko map experience.
It is. You start to, and I even catch myself doing it where I just make the same pattern over and over and over again. You're like, wait, can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, and it doesn't result in a good map.
Yeah, look at standard maps.
You're just tapping the same buttons over and over again. Like, wow, this is just really cool. I'm having a great time.
You should teach some standard.
I'd love to
mappers.
try playing some of these maps on like an actual machine, you know, with like the sticks and all, like in the arcades.
Mm-hmm, yeah. 5th place, we have Simply in MPN
Simply top 5.
Let's go. Good job.
See,
Simply.
no need for doom chatting. Simply, you did it. You top 5.
Speed on this one's quite impressive.
This might be the map I dinged them for using a high speed. Hold on.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
This is so dense rhythmically and then also just visually.
So,
but also there is some element of predictability here because of how they structure the map, that you're not always necessarily reading every single note. Thankfully, because otherwise that would be really rough.
I think the thing that's definitely going to trip people the most up is some of the like singular red like blocks in between like the blue ones, I think like those can just like really trip you up if you're not paying attention. But at the same time, with a lot of these like really like straight lines, if you're able to like click on them consistently enough, like on the beat, that gives you enough time to basically start reading ahead and see when like the next note's going to be coming.
So there are two submissions that do something like this. Like if you take a look at the inner Oni, which is the big one on your screen, and then look in the corner at the Oni, you'll see very, very big differences between what's going on. Two submissions did this, so it's sort of like double BPM improvisation mapping, which, what is the BPM of this song again? 160?
Something like that. I don't remember.
So we're like we're fake doing it at like 320, 300, whatever the BPM is, and in those higher sections, we're going into the 1.6, the 1.8 snaps, and that's probably the reason for the higher SV. And I do think while I was judging this set, I was thinking to myself, okay, well, I do think that the improvisation is too much, and we're stepping into overmapping territory. But the usage of the improvisation from an objective standpoint, it's absolutely lined up with the intensity of the vocals and the structure of like what is going on in the song. So there's a predictability and there's a professionalism or expertise, as we say in the categories, that cannot be denied of what was going on here.
For everyone working on these, I am very sincerely sorry that I set the BPM for the song to 163.
Is that what it was?
Yes, it was 163.
That's
What
not
is
much
that?
of a problem.
That's 240?
That's medium.
No, it's 320. Yep. I can't.
No, I'm apologizing for it being oddly specific.
That is oddly specific. I do agree.
It's not nearly as bad as the ones that are like 163.273. You know, there are some of those types of songs out there.
As long as it's 1 BPM the whole time, we're all happy.
Exactly, yeah.
That's so true. That is just the
Yeah.
truest thing to ever be said.
It's the multi-BPM ones that really get hard.
Yeah,
But
yeah, those will really get you.
Fourth place, Jiaozu and SN707.
Maybe if everyone wanted to have fun, we could have done dial loop, and then people would have to do the triplet section.
Oh my god. That would have been very interesting in Taiko, especially. Cool.
So everyone, can you call it love?
Yeah.
I appreciate every Taiko entry here, that even on the Muzukashi, whenever they accurately map the 3/4 rhythms. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Let's go.
Yeah, there's a lot of that's something I was a bit like, not necessarily picky, but paying attention to, is like, what did the people put into the Muzukashi? Because especially with the lower diffs, they sort of get neglected a little bit. They don't get as much love. They don't get as much creativity. Or they get oversimplified. You're allowed to use 3/4 snappings in a Muzu. In fact, I highly encourage you do that if that's what's most accurate, instead of simplifying it to 1/1. So whenever the submissions, and you can see it again, whenever the submissions are using SVs and they're using accurate snappings that are not the convention, that just shows me that there's love and there's attention going on in the Muzu. And all the diffs need equal love. You know, the inner Oni is not, although it is obviously like the most flourishing part of the set, not everyone can play an inner Oni. Whoever's going to play that Muzu wants to be entertained, so you know, definitely evaluating it from that perspective as well.
I love how every single time we get to this ending section, everyone always opts to go for the really intense, trumpets that are going in the back. That's going like just like absolutely crazy.
The
Oh yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Cool.
It's a great, like, because of the way the song just like builds to that ending, it's just like a great like ending for things to start kicking off for a moment.
I love the trumpets. They're so cool. All right.
There's
on to
actually
third
multiple
place.
references to various different songs that and tracks that are very iconic with Akita Neru that's like in the motifs of the trumpets in the song in general.
It's multi-layered.
Oh,
This is
okay.
cool.
So this is really cool. I took a small bit of points off for those really slow finishers because I did not like the fact that they were very slow and hard to read at first. I could not tell where they were snapped.
I like how it follows with how they are in the background vocals, though. So they are like, as finishers, they are just hiding in the background until their time comes.
Also, this I believe this map, the finisher that you're seeing on the screen gets faster and faster throughout the entire map, which is pretty cool. Man,
It's
what
such
was
a cool
I say?
map.
I already
I love the
forgot.
SP
It is
ones.
really neat.
I will admittedly for myself, I am struggling a little bit to follow with the beat directly with whether it's like the vocals or the background a little bit sometimes because it mixes it a little bit for me. So I find it personally hard to follow.
Yeah, there is, and it's easy to accidentally follow everything, if you know what I mean, in Taiko, and make it very confusing
It's
to what
also
you're trying
very
to do.
common to like make
Yeah.
that more of an interpretive layer, like you're making your new item to the music rather than following a specific part.
That
So
finisher's
fast.
gonna speed up again.
They're so
Oh,
funny.
it's
a little
so fast.
Yeah, it gets really fast. Just remember it's there. I think that was my favorite part of the map, is that just got faster and faster as I was playing it. I was like, it's kind of
That's a good
silly.
gimmick.
It's silly, but I actually found it pretty cool.
It's really funny looking.
Also, I was gonna say earlier, this submission does the bar line gimmick, which we're not seeing right now. But what I mean by that, and I guess gimmick's not the right word, is the intentional misalignment of the bar line with the finisher. I'm not entirely sure that's more of like a new school thing that the kids have been doing. That was not a thing when I was learning how to map. I'm not sure why it's used, but it is cool when it's used properly. And I'm always like, wow, that's really cool.
That's too next level for me. Excellent
That
entry.
was third.
GT in
Alright.
third is crazy. GT is one of like very well known expert Taiko mapper. So where do we go from here, guys? Where do we go from here?
We go to second
Molly and
place.
Kim!
Yo,
Molly and
kid, let's
Kim.
go! Let's go, kid! I'm sorry, I was so excited. I got so excited because in the first phase of the contest, I loved Kin's submission after figuring out what it was, and I was like, I bet he's gonna do magic again this time. And I'm so glad that he's done magic. Along with Molly beat him, of course, but you know. Just very epic. It was a great submission they had in the first portion of this contest, and now seeing what their map was, yeah, I really enjoyed this submission as well.
I really like how the Musu is playing with finishers and sliders too. Holy shit, those are a lot of sliders.
That's awesome.
I think that was the one part of this I wasn't a huge fan of.
It's thematic though, because we had Mikuteno and now the sliders are new.
It is nice. I think it's definitely a valid choice to make. It's just when in Taiko, like, sliders function so differently. So they're rubbing up, like, in my opinion, the length of the slider was rubbing up against, like, is it long enough to really be effective? Because if a slider is too short in Taiko, you're just like spamming your keyboard for half a second, and it just feels really weird. So you have to like balance, is it long enough for that spam or that like faux density? Because you're supposed to spam your keyboard for the length of the slider. Is it fitting into what you're trying to do? I think it makes sense. I get what they were trying to do, but I feel like the spamming nature of the spinner or slider was a little bit mismatched with the Ki. I do get what it was matched to, but
Yeah, I kind of wonder if like there's enough of a gap between these sliders for it to actually feel any different.
But I love how they fit with the kind of interruptive trumpet lines.
I love the finishers in the inner Oni here. They're actually really fun.
Ooh, I like that ending.
I think you'll get any less dizzying if you look at it more.
Yeah, so if you play taiko maps and you look up someone named Nifty, I think you'll find yourself thoroughly confused, possibly getting symptoms of vertigo. If you would like to investigate that further, Simply Tholoazi also has some pretty crazy stuff in the ranked section. Just some suggestions
what
if
we
you enjoy
needed.
that vertigo feeling.
Just what we needed. All right, on to first place, our final map that will be
Who did
reviewing
it?
today.
Drumroll, please.
Shimiko and Uone. I probably
Oh my
butchered those
goodness.
names.
That's epic.
It is epic.
I think it's Kamiko and Uone.
Well, I tried. Okay.
I think that is how the first one is pronounced.
Now, what I will say is that Uone also won the last Vocaloid mapping contest.
Uone is a taiko, dare I say Titan? I mean, he's a Japanese player. Pretty sure he's played for the TWC team. He is now, whenever he's asked, he is like a very good. He's just a good mapper, man. He's just a good. I don't know how else to put it. Like I can go through all the like things he's best at, but he's just a good mapper.
I feel like Taiko's one of the. I don't know if this is the same case for Mania or Catch, but standard, you can be good at the game but be terrible at mapping. And I think Taiko's interesting because you kind of have to be good at the game to be good at mapping.
You would think so, right?
Well, I noticed higher ranked players in Taiko making good maps as opposed to standard.
That is okay. So that is true. That if you are better at taiko, the chance of you making a good map is much higher because you understand what feels comfortable and what doesn't. But
Same thing in standard for sure.
I just remember from my time as a BN, that's just not true. A lot of people, you look at the taiko, right? Look at taiko. You just see two colors and notes. You're like, oh man, this is so easy to map, and that's what people do.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like you don't have to worry about slider shapes, so that takes out standard. You don't have to worry about long notes, so that takes out mania. And then mapping catch is just mapping standard in the stable client. So, that just leaves you with taiko. I think with this submission in particular, they did my favorite rendition of improvisation at the inner Oni level for a song of this intensity. Like they didn't need to go overkill. They didn't need to make it too fancy. It's simplistic, it's effective. The density, it's so good. It's just masterfully crafted. I'm pretty sure I know that this is the highest scoring game. I'm pretty sure.
All right. So final results. Go ahead, Luminite. You can read them off.
Oh, fantastic. In 7th place, because we had a bit of a judging error in taiko. In 7th place, we did the top 7. We have Solor and Nintendo 64. 6th place, Foco and Gameland 4. 5th place, Simply Tholoazi and MTNT War Z. 4th, Jaltsu and SN 707. 3rd, our top 3, GT and Iron Osu. 2nd, Molly B, Denim, and Kin. And the 1st place, the winners of this portion of the taiko contest, Kamiko and Uone. Congratulations to all 7 people.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you all for mapping
Yay.
taiko. We love it. And standard and mania, because we're done. So awesome. We love Osu.
And Nafi has put the judging sheets and comments in the chat. So feel free to read what all of the silly judges said about your silly maps.
Are you calling me silly on stream?
Yes, I am.
Are you? Do you want to fight on stream? Is that what's going on? No. I'm kidding.
It'll give everybody enough time to open the sheet and read it. So sure, have a fight, have at
No,
it.
what we'll do, we'll farm engagement. Someone get a poll going in the chat who's gonna win, and then we'll do a break, and then we'll start tweeting about it.
I don't know how to do that.
You don't know how to
make some
tweet?
Fake beef.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
it's called posting now. It's called
Oh, you're so
posting now.
right.
It's
You're
on
so
X.
right. I can't
This
believe I let
beat.
the liberal. I don't know if I should make that joke on stream.
I'm gonna.
I'm
X
very
all of you.
grateful towards everyone's creativity on this competition, seeing the different ways that my song was interpreted by the mappers, the way that people added on top of it with the different instrumental layers, the beats, the way that like different things were spread in general. All of that was just utterly remarkable, and I really like to applaud everyone who participated in this. Everyone did such a fantastic job. The judges did a wonderful job, like looking over everything as well. Thank you all very much.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, sir, for
Thank
organizing
you
all
so
of this.
much.
As you mentioned earlier during the standard, if the song selection is this great, because it was just goated this year, please, by all means, bring me back. I love it. This was great. This was so fun. VMC2 was not as fun. It's not because of the contest. It's just the song selection was not as good.
And Flop
It was
Era
much
was a
more
really great
restrictive.
song.
Yeah, we definitely we went up a level this year, and I loved it. So
Yeah.
this was fun. Thank you, White, for organizing all of this. Thank you.
Well, thanks for judging. Thanks for
It was
judging as
fun.
well,
I
Muffy.
had a good time.
You're welcome. It was awesome getting to see all the maps early.
Thanks for being here, Wafer.
Thanks for inviting me, and thanks Epi for being here as well, and also just making the music.
Exceptional.
Yes, I'm so grateful. Thank you all so much for allowing me to be involved in this like opportunity. It was such a fun time.
And as a reminder for those who want to know what the prizes are, and I'll get the prizes out as soon as I can. First place for standard, so the Garden and iBell are getting 2 laptops. They're donated by Newbie Potato. And then everyone else who got first place for their relative modes get 6 months of OSU supporter. They'll also likely get Elite Mapper points. But I can't guarantee that, but I don't really see why they wouldn't. And they'll also get a profile badge. And I'm sure that we can help get those things to the rank section. I know Simply was looking at doing some kind of mega set, so reach out to Simply and maybe they can help organize that. That'd be pretty cool.
Am I allowed to disclose which judge I am on the sheet? Because someone asked.
You can do whatever you want. I don't care.
Okay, on the sheet, I'm judge number 3. So, take that with what you will.
Now prepare for the Twitter drama.
There's gonna
Yeah,
be a
you're
pipe
getting
bomb.
You're
There's gonna be
getting
a pipe bomb
doxxed.
in my mailbox. I can no longer it's just over for me now. I'm gonna have to go into the bunker.
It's gonna have to
Listen, listen. The song is called "Flop Era" for a reason. Okay, I think we can all understand what exactly we were getting ourselves into.
That's true. That's true. There was an overarching theme. You just didn't know about it yet.
Now, Epi, what was your motivation behind making the song?
Yes, so Flop Air is a really interesting song because it was actually the 3rd song in a mini series of songs that I was making between Dialoop, Fake Up, and the 30s Flop Era. And the 3 of them were various different explorations on internet culture and the way that we interact with it. Dialoop was an exploration of cancel culture, and Fake Up was an exploration of a parasocial relationship between a streamer and their listener. And for the 3rd song, I wanted it to be an exploration of the concept of the flop era, basically. What is that exactly? And the idea of the song basically is examining what exactly is a flop era for someone. And really, oftentimes when people say that they're flopping right now, it's usually meaning, oh, I am usually not doing so well. But what does that actually mean usually? It's usually something that you say about yourself or you say about someone else, but everything about that's so relative. And so a lot of the narrative of the song is about this idea that it's never going to be enough for you And even if you have an audience of people who appreciate you, even in the song, there's various different like lines, like "I love your songs." Don't listen to the comments of people saying that they love you, because if you're not at the very top, it's just never going to be enough. So Neru in the song is perpetually always going to be in a flop era because she does not have the ability to recognize the community that already appreciates her for who she is.
That's really deep. Holy.
That's crazy. I love it.
That is a really important message, I think. It's just very deep. Oof.
It's relevant
Yeah.
for us
Yeah.
Osu mappers as well, for sure.
For
We
sure.
can all,
Yeah.
I mean, as you can maybe see, it's like we're doing our when we're making these maps and representing the song, it's sort of like a different art form as well. Like we're creating a rendition of what that song means to us, and as a result, we do end up in our own flop eras.
Yeah, like the whole idea of the flop era basically for the song is once you're able to really escape the idea that you're going to always compare yourself to someone else and that you need to be at the very top, you can just allow yourself to be free. And the tragedy of the song is that Neru, like even though she in the music video she gets an onslaught of just wonderful, lovely comments, and yet she just doesn't process it because she's just not at that point that she wants to be. And so the main message that I want people to really take from it is sort of to, be mindful of the fact that when you're in a community, it's not necessarily always about reaching the very top of the numbers. It's about appreciating and valuing the community that you've built up to yourself, because even if you're not necessarily at the place that you always want to be, there's always happiness to find in being with other people and connecting to other people.
It's such a
Damn.
beautiful, positive message. Very timely too in the world that we live in. Absolutely love that.
Yes, thank you so
Well,
much
it
for
clearly
having me on
resonated
here.
with a lot of people, given how popular that song got.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
it's a great song. It's a fantastic song. I love it.
well, there's a lot of ways that you can interpret the song. I think it's also just kind of funny because Akita Neru is like an internet celebrity.
That's true. That's true. But so is Miku and Teto and all the other ones. So, wow, mainly
Yeah.
those two. Right
Yeah,
now.
mainly those.
right now. The other
Yeah.
Vocaloids are kind of feeling a little underappreciated lately.
I ended up picking Neru for the song specifically because I was listening to various different other popular songs that were coming off, some of them with Neru, and then I listened back to my songs and I thought to myself, wait a second, my Miko kind of already sounds like Neru. Let me just do a little bit more and like make her more Neru like and just write a song for Neru. And Flop Era as a title actually like originated like 2 years ago basically because I came up with the title of it for a friend. But that friend basically never took the titles, but I just held on to it because I was like, this is such a funny idea for a song title.
Yeah, so I did when I saw the title, I was like, huh. I wonder what this song is about in English. 'Cause I was just like, well, I wonder what that means. I'm so glad I know now. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Everyone can experience their own flop era by just not really being confident in themselves and not really being the most authentic and proud version of themselves that they can be. So step out of your own flop era and just, have fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And also relatable. Very relatable.
Well,
Unflop your era, so true.
place all your if you want to grab all the entries and put them into one mega set, I don't mind that at all. Simply, you'll just have to talk to the other participants. So I will say, I think Nafi mentioned she had some beef regarding your Neru.
Oh my, is that so?
You want to share, Nafi?
I grew up with one of my friends that would do deep voiced Rin Neru. So to me, that is the real Neru, and high pitched Miku Neru is a fake.
A fake up.
And then you go and
Oh
you
my
post
God.
this beautiful short with deep pitched Rin Neru, and I don't get to hear the whole thing.
I think we need another
Well-
version.
Yeah.
Well,
We're gonna need another version ASAP.
oh my god, another version, another remix.
Another
Yes.
remix.
Um, yeah. The
You
thing
should just
about
call it the
Neru,
Nafi version too. You
the
know, just
Nafi
no
version. Oh my
context.
lord.
No
Wait,
context at all.
nobody would know what that means.
Well, we will, and that's what's special about it.
Yes.
The thing with Neru is that Neru as a character is very transformative. But one of the things that I find really appealing about her is the fact that you can really take her voice in any direction, and all of those are correct. Like if we're speaking historically speaking, Akita Neru is a derivative of Hatsune Miku. Like she is a derivative of that character. So there's like when you can take her in, like, being a deep voice, and there's just so many different ways that you can take her, and I think that creativity allows people to really just mold her into anything that they really want. And I find and so I thought, like, playing around with that idea is like really fun, so I made a short where oh, it's just a bunch of beeping noises, or oh, that's her with like a deep voice written. Basically, I just wanted to play around with those, like the different faces of what Neru can be.
I need all of these Nerus together in a fan art now. So cool.
True.
Yes.
All
There is
right.
one thing that I would like to say that I think is a rather funny thing when it comes to flop era that I noticed happen, which was that I saw that there was a lot of people that were talking about it in relation to Flavor Foley, like that artist, and their
Mhm.
various songs such as Static and Spoken For. And I'd like to make this statement very clear. Guys, I actually didn't see the comment that people said inspired flop era. Like, I actually hadn't clicked on the song when I was writing it. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't know that this was a thing. And then when it blew up, I was just like, oh, like, okay, let me look this up. Oh, that's cool. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know about it. I didn't know what was happening.
I can't believe it. My
What are
day is ruined.
what are we gonna do? I just don't know now. I think honestly, now
Whenever
I
those
just
kind of
don't know.
coincidences
It's-
happen, though, it's really interesting. Like the other coincidence that a very prominent standard mapper already ranked flop era before this phase of the
Oh my
contest was
god.
announced.
Oh my god.
What?
It was so funny because I reached out to Epi to for like getting him as a featured artist and all that. And then like that's all sorted out and we're like in the middle of phase 1 of the contest, and then all of a sudden Ryusei Aika ranks flop era on his own, completely unrelated. Like nobody had mapped an Epi song at all, and then all of a sudden there's flop era being ranked, and I'm like, oh my god. This is supposed to be like a big reveal. Oh my god.
It's absolutely ruined. It's just over now.
It's just over.
I'd like to say, like let everyone know here that this event, everyone, like the people here, they got flop era early. Like they got to listen to it early, and it was like a setup. So I was like very like, oh, Lena, I'll just throw this here and see how it goes. And then the song came out, and I was like, oh, this is like really big. Oh no.
It definitely put you on the map.
I'm very grateful.
I think I actually came across you as an artist from the official like Hatsune Miku YouTube channel. Your flop era was on that, and that's
Uh,
how I found you.
you contacted me
Fake Up?
before flop era, I believe. So I believe it was Fake Up actually.
Oh yes, sorry.
They
Fake
both
Up
start
was
with
what it
F,
was.
so White keeps getting them
I
backwards.
get them confused all the time for some reason, just in my head.
Listen, one of them is blue, the other one is yellow, okay?
This
He's
is
a
true.
really
This is
big fan
true.
of Fake Up.
I am a
He
big
kept
fan of
gassing
Fake Up.
up Fake
I
Up to me
really
last
like
night.
Fake Up.
I think it's
Thank
funny
you.
as like the Vocaloid appreciation team. A lot of the people here are experts, and I think I'm just genuinely like an appreciator. Like I don't. So I had no idea. I have no idea if I've heard any of the music before, especially in the case, which is why I say this, especially when the name has a multiple lower or uppercase letters not at the beginning or end of the name. I'm like, this is just some Vocaloid artist, and I just don't know which one. Like Pinocchio P, another one. I'm just like, okay, just random capital letters. All right.
Yeah. Uh, well, stands for producer. So a lot of people like to add that on top, basically. Just have the P
Oh,
as a stylist because I think like lowercase e capital P just looks cool.
it all makes sense now. Okay. I feel like
Yeah,
I've really
so
unlocked a lot of knowledge just now.
yeah, so
Does the E stand for electronic? Like email?
Wait,
Does
no.
it?
What this means
Does
is
it?
we need to start renaming ourselves on OSU. Whenever you become a ranked mapper, you have to start putting the capital letter M at the end of your name.
Yeah.
no, exactly that's what it is. And I'm gonna be real here. I I think that getting a P name is a badge of honor that people bestow upon you. When to give someone a P name, then like that's something.
Is my internet dying or is that
I
Epi?
think Epi
That might
just
be.
cut out a little bit, unfortunately.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Welcome
There
back.
we go.
Badge of
Okay.
honor.
Yes. Anyway, as I was saying, the P name basically was something that people used to give as a title to other Vocaloid producers, basically, for their most famous songs. So if you had a song that was called like, Circus Monster, then if you're like your producer, they'll call you Circus P.
Cool.
I feel like I just learned a lot.
Yeah, that's how the P names work, and a lot of
So was
people
it
like
just
to name
Pinocchio at
themselves.
some point?
No,
Um,
Pinocchio P got his name because his first song was about Miku's big nose.
That's
I
interesting.
see.
I did not know about that
some
lore.
some P names are also just self-appointed because it became a cultural touchstone. Basically, a lot of people were used to P names popping up as a name, so a lot of people just started adding P to their name, like, oh, I'm producer blank, so I'm something P.
Hmm.
That's a lot of the early history surrounding that. And so P names used to be something that were given out as like titles for like what you're most well known for. But nowadays, especially, it's mostly just people using it as a way to signify that they're a producer or that they're just really interested in like the naming schemes of like Vocalo culture.
I think we need to
The
do a
more you know.
whole podcast to go through Vocaloid history with you. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm
really
yeah,
we're
I
You're very well informed.
yes, yes. I've done a lot of work overall with Vocaloid over quite a few years. I used to be a fan back in the early 2010s, but I only recently got into actually producing my music in the last few years, and I started my YouTube channel back in I believe it was 2020 actually, around like or 2018, around that point, roughly speaking. So I've been like interested in Vocaloid for a while, and so I'm very passionate about a lot of the culture surrounding it.
Who's your favorite Vocaloid producer?
My favorite Vocaloid music producer. Oh, that's so hard. That's so hard. Oh my. I love Deco27. He's absolutely phenomenal.
Oh,
I love so many of his songs. It's wonderful. I was very inspired as a producer as well by the works of producers who make piano ballad songs such as Kasamura Tota. She makes wonderful songs,
Very
and
good.
I also really love Kashi Moemi specifically. She is an absolute legend, an absolute inspiration to me. I've seen a lot of people even point out that Flop Era is very similar to one of Kashimoimi's really popular songs, Cat Loving. I really, really love her a lot, and she's a very big influence on me and how I write my music.
One of the diff names for one of the maps was Cat Loving. So somebody else noticed that, I guess.
Oh, wait, they do.
They knew.
Yeah. I think on YouTube someone even made a mashup of a Flop Era and Cat Loving. I absolutely loved it.
It's pretty cool what people come up with. All right. Well, we've kept you long enough. I know it's very late for you, so we will call it here. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was absolutely wonderful getting to speak to you all and getting to see the chat as well, getting to see all those wonderful submissions. I really, really valued our time.
All right. Have a
Thank
good
you
one,
so
everyone.
much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.